Good morning to all of you. Myself Sharvan, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Kumar Engineering College, Ghaziabad. My today topic is function in C. So, first of all, how we define a function? A function is a block of code which is used to perform a specific task. The function are used to provide modularity and code reusability to a program. The function is also known as procedure as well as subroutine to other programming languages. In C, C program, there is at least one function which we always include, that is a main function. So, basically the task of the function is to divide a huge program into smaller program or chunks of that program that easy to understand and reuse that program. Why we need a function, or we say advantage of that using a function? First of all, we are going to divide the program into separate well defined function so that each function can be written and tested separately. Second, understanding the coding and testing become very easy as they are separated. Writing a function to avoid rewriting the same code over and over every time. As the functions are divided, the workload can be divided among the programmer also. Function can be called multiple time as per requirement. We will see in this we will see all these things in a program, so you can understand it better way. First of all, we divide the function in two ways. First is the standard library function and second is the user defined function. If I talk about the standard library functions, so these functions are predefined in C programming language. So, library functions are built-in function in C programming. So, library function are those functions which are already defined, compiled and stored in different header files of standard C library. User can use the library function by calling this function directly and they do not need to write function themselves. They are already written in the C library or header files. So, some of the common library functions we are already using, that is printf and scanf. Both are the data stored in stdio.h. Second, widely used function are square root and absolute values to find a variable, or we can say value. So, we include the header file mat.h. Second type of functions are user defined function. These functions are created by the user, they are not already defined. User can create their own type of functions for their own purposes. So, first of all, now we are going to define a first of all function, how we use it, and next we are talking about how a predefined function is used. If I write So here we write a function, the function name is show, the return type is void, the first statement is function declaration, the first statement is function declaration. Here is the function calling, and this whole statement is function definition. So we define a user defined function, the function is show function. In that function we write a simple program to print hello. So what the compiler will do, or once we use compile this program and execute it, first of all the main function will be executed, the main function will be executed by the operating system, the operating system will call the main. After that, after the next statement will be executed, that is show. So show here it is a function, it is user defined function, it will automatically check whether the show will be exist in this program or not. Yes, it is here, the function declaration is there, that is void show. Automatically it will check the function definition, the function definition is written here, whatever the written in that definition that will be executed, and if the return type will be there, then the control will be returned to the main, otherwise the main will not otherwise the control will remain in the void function and everything will be executed in the void function. So that is a user defined function. If I talk about the library function, so we see this in this program here, what we are using, we are using mat.h file, we are using mat.h file. So in mat.h file we are going to use the square root function to find the square root of a number. For that we declare two variables, number and square root. Number is of integer type and square root is of double type. We define the value of number equal to 9. After that we are going to use that sqrt function. Sqrt function is defined in mat.h file and we pass the variable number which having the value 9. When we printf this statement, the printf statement will tell the value of, first of all, integer value is of number, the number will be 9. Next we are going to print the value of double value is the sqrt root. So root value will be automatically calculated by the sqrt function which is defined in the math library. So that is the predefined function we are going to use in this program to calculate the square root of a number. Next next statement is return statement. So the what return statements tell to us, the return statement is used to tell the termination, the execution of a function and transfer the control back to the calling function. As we are going to discuss here, the return statement is written here if we are going to define any return type of variable. Here we are using void type of function, so no return will be there, so void will not return anything. If in case it is of any other user defined or predefined data type like int, float, char or any other type, in that case return type will be there. So return statement will be written at the end of the function. After the end of the function, the control transfer back to the main function, it will transfer to the main function. So it also specify the value to be returned to the function. Earlier we have using the void function, so no return, which means the function is not returning any value if void type of function is there. it is also possible to return a value from the function. So we have to define the return type. Return type can be of any type. As I told to you, it will be primitive type or non-primitive type. Like any data type or user defined or derived data type. So the return statement can be used to return a value from the function, and every return statement will be the last statement of that function. So we have the data type like integer. Here we are using integer type of instead of void. This means that function return an integer value. Function will return integer value. The code return the any functionality a plus b and return the sum to the parameter of that function. So the return statement denotes that function has ended, and any code after that return statement of that function will not be executed. So this will be the return statement of that function. No code after that will be executed, and control will transfer to the main function. Next we are talking about the user defined function. So user defined function are those functions which are defined by the user. It allow performing additional functions beside the inbuilt function. A user defined function group code to perform a specific task. That group of code is given with a specific name. We name it as identifier. When function is called directly from any part of the program, it will execute the code defined in the body of that function. So the here in the in user defined function there will be three things. First will be the function declaration. Second will be the function calling, and third will be the function definition. If I talk about the function declaration, that will be the statement that written above the main and below that directive files with any kind of return type or not return type. If I talk about the function calling, the function calling will be in the main function or in other function where we are going to call that function. Most of the cases we call that function in the main function. The function definition will be written anywhere in the function, anywhere in the file. It can be above the main or below the main. Function definition and function declaration can be clubbed in a single function. We will see this. See here. We see here that is the function declaration, that second part is function calling, and that this one is the function definition. If I write this program again, if I write this program again, here the function declaration and definition both are clubbed in a single terminology. Function declaration and definition here are clubbed. So user defined function, group of function performs specific task, that group of code is given which is named as identifier. We have given the name show here. So when function is called directly from any part of the program, it will execute the code defined in the function body. Here we are going to call that function and automatically it will call this function defined in the body of the function. Next, now we are understand the terminologies. First is function declaration. Function declaration was this one. So function declaration in C programming, the function declaration tells the compiler about the function name and how to call that function. A function declaration also tell about the number of parameter, function takes, data type of that parameter, return type of that function, and second, we are going to putting parameter name in the function declaration is optional. The function declaration, but it is necessary to put them in the function definition. So syntax for function declaration is return type, function name, parameter 1, parameter 2 up to parameter n. There can be n number of parameter. After that, function body will be there. Any kind of function operation we perform in that body. So this part is known as function declaration. So function declaration is this thing. Always it will be there above the main. Next is the calling of function. Here we see in this program, this one is the function calling. Here also we see this is of integer type, so function calling is of integer type. This termination of this function with name is known as function calling. So calling a function means when a function call, when a program call a function, program control is transferred to the called function. A called function perform the defined task. When it return statement is executed, it returns program control back to the main program. So to call a function, we need to pass the requirement parameter along with the function name, and if function return a value, we can store that return value in that particular variable. So in the above program, we have declared the function name hello. So use this function hello, we need to call it. So here the calling function is in the main, that will be written inside the main. That is the calling of function. Function name, round bracket and terminator inside the main, which means the function is called. Next is the function parameter. So function parameter, what it says, there are two type of parameter, actual parameter and formal parameter. First of all, we need to understand that thing. Anything provided in that function argument is known as parameter. So parameter as a variable hold the value of argument passed while the function is called. A function may or may not contain parameter list, can be without it can be without parameter or it can have with parameters. So there can be two type of parameter, actual parameter and formal parameter. If we are passing the value, in that case it is actual parameter. If we are passing the variables, in that case it is the formal parameter. So actual parameter are passed in a function like a variable value a equal to 20, b equal to 10, and informal parameter are those parameters which are received by the function like variable name b or c, anything we are going to pass. As mentioned above, function can be declared with parameters arguments. A parameter is a value that is passed, function is in the declaring a function. Here in this program, in this snippet, we are using a function named print num of type void, and we are going to pass a variable name int a, that is a formal parameter, and this formal parameter is going to use here. So int variable a is a function parameter and we pass a value to the function parameter while calling this. So using all these things we are going to do a program. So program is to print integer and floating value using the function with the parameter. We have defined a function named number. We are taking two variables, int num1 and float num2. We are going to print that value of these variables. For integer num1, for floating value decimal value %lf num2. In main we are calling that function, the function name is number. One thing always be remember, say is fully case sensitive. So here we have writing the number in a sentence case, we are using that function in sentence case also. Here we are passing the variable formal parameter a, here we are passing the value a is equal to 2 and b equal to 2.5. Once we call this function, the function is automatically call this function definition and the integer value is printed here, number equal to 2 and decimal value is equal to 2.5. Next is function prototype. Most important concept, the function prototype. The code of function declaration should be before the function call, first of all. Second, if we want to define a function after the function call, we need to define function prototype. It tells the return type of the data that function will return. It also tells the number of argument passed to the function. It also tells the data type of each of the passed argument. It also tells the order in which the argument are passed. Like this way, we are having the syntax return type, function name, data type value 1, data type value 2. We are not passing any type of variable, we are just declaring the variable data type of that variable. We are using the function add, which takes two variables, both are of integer type, and the function definition says add int a int b, but in function declaration we are just defining the variable data type, not defining any type of any variable value, we are defining data type. Once we are going to call that function add ab, add 2, 4, we are passing two variables a, b, both variable are passed here, value of a is 2, value of b is 4, and we are doing the functionality of a plus b, so it is of type void, so the result will be 6. The main thing is we are not defining any kind of variable name here, we are defining data type here, in function declaration. Next, there are 4 type of categorization of function. First is function with no argument, no return value. Second is function with no argument but a return value. Third is function with argument, no return value. Fourth one is function with argument but no return value. We will see with a same example for each and every this functional categorization. So first of all is function with no argument and no return value. Once we are talking about no return value, in that case we are using void type of function, mind it. Second, we are saying no argument, it means no parameter will be passed within the function. See this function here, we are going to find the greatest among two numbers. Simple we are going to use if else in that function. So here we are using void type of function and no argument is passed here. In function calling, use only function name with no argument, and automatically it is of void type, so function will not return anything. In that case, integer I and j are defined here. we are going to take the variable value I and j. After that we are going to compare I greater than j. If I is greater than j, in that case I is greater, and we are going to print here. In second case, else condition, if j is greater, else j will be printed here. No return is there, no argument is passed here, everything is within the function. That is first case, no argument, no return value. Second, same program but having same feature with no argument but have a return value. Automatically a return value will be there, so any type of data type will be there, but no argument means no parameter will be passed here. You will see here no parameter is passed here. See here, no parameter is going to pass here, but function have a return type, which is of type int, because C does not support boolean value, boolean data type. C does not support boolean data type. So we have 0 or 1. So in that case we have to take integer type of functionality. Here two variables are there, I and j. If I is greater than j, then greater will be I. We are taking a variable greater I, greater number. Else greater number is j. In both cases, whether it I greater than j or j greater than I, the value is assigned to the greater number. So we are going to return a greater number. Greater number is of type int. Automatically integer will be there. So we are going to take value in that result that is of integer type, and we are going to print that result. The function is no argument but having a return value. You see here no argument is there but return type is there. Third thing is function with argument and a return value. Function with argument and a return value. See here in this function having of type integer also have two arguments, I and j. These are argument are there, also the return type is there. So we are taking two variables I and j. After that result is I comma j. We are taking the variable. The result automatically the function is going to call integer type of value and passing integer type of value. So the result will be the output of this function is going to in the integer value. So that will be stored in a result variable, which is of type int, and we are going to print that result. See here the variable is there, parameter is there, and return type is there. Same case, if I greater than j, in that case return x, otherwise return y. That is the function with argument and a return value. Next topic is recursion. Most important topic. When function call itself directly or indirectly, that is called recursion, and the corresponding function is called recursive function. Recursion has to got a problem solving tool where it dives the large problem into the simple task and working out individual to follow a individual sequence. So the function is going to call itself, which means same function name is calling itself. Same function name is calling to itself. That is recursion. Once we are going to call that function, it automatically call itself. Recursion have one disadvantage. If in case we are not going to control that recursion, it will go in infinite loop or endless loop. So how the recursion will work? Recursion use a repeat code within by which the calling itself until some condition is met to the prevent the repeating. In most cases, if else statements are used to prevent the infinite recursion. As I earlier said, if we are not going to control that recursion, that it will go into in the infinite or in endless loop. See here, the function name is recurse and it is going to call here and it automatically call itself. Once the function is called, this function is called here and it calls itself until unless if we are not going to provide any kind of if else statement, it will go into the endless loop. So recursion is good when it is controlled. When it is not controlled, it will go in the infinite loop. So recursion, how the working of recursion is, recursion perform the repetition of the function call and it stop the execution when the base function becomes true. In simple word, recursion continue until some condition is met. A base case condition should be defined in the recursive function to avoid stack overflow error messages. If no base case is defined, it lead to the infinite recursion. To prevent infinite recursion, most important thing is a control statement will be there, that is if else statement will be there. So we can break that statement and come to the main statement. So this is the program to find a factorial of a number using recursion. See here, we are defining a function named fact which having one argument and having return type int. Now see here, we are taking two variables num and factorial. We are taking the number defined here, taking user input, and we are going to call fact num, this function. Once we are going to call this function, automatically the value will return in integer. So we are going to pass this value into the factorial, that is of type int. See here, once the function is called, it will call here, suppose num value is 4, so it will call fact of 4. Once the fact of 4 is there, so num equal to 0, true or false, in that case it will go here, it will check here num equal to 1, true or false, because num value is 4. Again it go here, so what it check here, 4 into fact of 4 minus 1, which means 3. What you will get, fact of 3 here. Fine. Now a function is there, inside this function name is fact, same function is there, fact. Again it recall itself. Once it go there, what you will get, num value is 3, false, num equal to 1, false, come here, 4 into fact of 2, see here, a function is again calling itself, again it will go to the this thing, it will check fact of 2 here, again number value is 2 is equal to 0, false, 2 is equal to 1, in else condition false, it comes here. what you will get? 4 into 3 into 2 into fact of 1. So fact of 1 means comes here, it will return 1, it will return 1. So what you will get? 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. What you will get? It will return the value 4 into 3 into 4 into 1. You will get 24, and that value is return here. Sorry, return here, and you will get the value 24. You will get the result 24. Thank you very much.